During sometimes Bhagwan's messages come across so strongly, it can truly change the way you look at life. In Kodaikanal, I remember when Bhagwan had taken a few boys along with him to Kodaikanal, and towards the end of his trip, he decided that he must recognize the effort of all the people who had contributed to Swami's stay in Kodaikanal. The cooks who had cooked for him, the washermen who had washed clothes when he was there, the police and security force that was waiting and had served upon him, the number of devotees who had come by to serve upon Swami. Swami said, I must definitely give something for all of them. One of the things that I keep seeing in Bhagwan's interactions with us is he has absolutely no reason to show gratitude to us. It's us that owe him gratitude. But any opportunity to recognize the effort of people who have served, Swami would definitely be there. So he called the security in charge and said, tomorrow I would like to give everyone some clothes and a little bit of money to take care of the stitching for these clothes. Please call all the people who had served me, let them sit in the hall, and I will give all of them clothes as well as a little money for tailoring charges. The number that was given to Swami at that time was 200 people would come. It has often occurred to me how Swami at 1 minute would be the all-knowing, the omniscient. In a minute, he would drill through your life, take the smallest portion of your life and tell you that he knows. But at another level, to be able to teach us lessons of life, he behaves like a perfect human. And in this situation, Swami said, all right, we will plan to give clothes and money for 200 people who will come tomorrow. So I remember that afternoon when Bhagwan came back into the room, he made us all go into a storeroom, pull out white safari clothes and cover them up nicely, pack them up with a little bit of money, and we had 200 packets waiting there for the next day. Come the next morning, when Swami stepped out to this hall where all of the people were gathered, 400 people were sitting there. Believe me when I say this, Swami came back into the room and he pretended to be very surprised. We had 200 packets waiting to distribute to all that had gathered, and 400 people had gathered to receive Bhagwan's blessings that morning. And so Bhagwan asked us to see if any more clothes were available. We went into the room and found there were enough clothes, but unfortunately we didn't have enough packets of money to be able to give to each of these people who had come. And I remember being one of them among many people there who very quietly said, Bhagwan, if you would permit, we can all collect whatever money that we have and we'll put it into these little packets so that your word to these people would be fulfilled. Swami went out for darshan that day, walked amongst the crowd, completely calm and unaffected. He walked across everyone, taking darshan. It was darshan time, so there were devotees who had gathered. He came back into this hall, and as he came back into the hall, with his hand full of letters, one of the letters fell off his hand. I remember being the boy at his feet. At that time, I took that letter and gave it to Swami, and Swami said, no, open it. Open that letter. We opened the letter, and to my surprise, and the surprise of everyone sitting in that hall, there was exactly the amount which was needed for the rest of people who were waiting outside to get Swami's blessings that day. What surprised me was not the fact that Swami could make this happen. As the all-knowing, as the omniscient, he can make anything happen. But what surprised me was what he said after that. And this is something which I would really like to leave with everyone. He said, I did not use my power for this envelope. I did not use my power for this envelope. But I want you to know that whenever you have a completely selfless thought to want to make a difference to someone, the forces of nature will make it possible.